All right, your projects are bringing in great margins. Why can't you seem to have enough cash? I'm Jessica Krause with New Life Accounting, and this is Build What Lasts. That is a consistent problem that we are seeing with new clients coming on, that they feel like their jobs are really profitable, that their jobs are doing well. Even sometimes when we get to the whip sorted out and we're looking at their job profitability, their jobs are performing well, okay? But yet they still are having to put cash into the business to cover their cash needs. They're not seeing the profit margins on the bottom line that they want to see. So what is going on? All right, well, first I want to define 3 different types of costs for you. So direct costs, indirect costs, and overhead costs. So direct costs are going to be anything that directly relate to a project. So what you can specifically in your accounting system, in your project management system, assign to a project. Okay, so you have $200,000 worth of materials that you bought for this specific project. When that invoice comes in, you are going to code it directly to that project, and it all is allocated to that project. That is a direct cost. Indirect costs are going to be anything that are for projects, project related, but we're not going to take the cost directly to that project. So sometimes we see safety in this account, some insurance costs, some equipment depreciation costs, vehicle fuel, if you have trucks running to multiple job sites, you might have some shop labor to manage the small tools. Those kind of things are going in your indirect costs. Okay, and then you're going to have overhead items. And overhead is going to be anything to operate your business. So all of your administrative staff, your accounting, your marketing, your IT, your computers in your office, any office maintenance, rent, all of those things are going to be in your overhead numbers. So what's happening when you're looking at your projects and you're just looking at the direct costs, when you're comparing and saying, oh, my margins look great. If all we're looking at is the direct costs and we're showing 30% margins across the board, great, we're doing well. Okay, now what happens when your overhead is 15 to 20% and your indirects are 15 to 20%? Now you're just, that 30% is gone. Okay, so you're either breaking even or you're losing. So we really need to make sure that we are covering those indirect costs and overhead costs in our estimates, in our bids out to our customers, okay? So overhead percentage, we typically see, based on some benchmarks in the CFMA, 10 to 12% in overhead costs. Okay, so if you have 10 to 12% in overhead and you have 10 to 12% in indirects, let's just say 10 for both of those, 10 in indirect, 10 in overhead, that's 20%. And then you want to make a 10% net profit, you need at least 30%, at least, across your board to meet all of those goals. If your indirect costs are 15% and your overhead is 15% and you want to make a 10% margin, now you need 40% gross margins after direct costs across the board on your projects. So we need to make sure that we are not just looking at our direct costs when we say, oh, our projects are doing great. Okay, we need to look at our projects covering all of the costs in the business. So if you're asking yourself some of these questions, my projects are doing great, why do I have to keep putting cash into my business? Where are my profits at? If you're asking yourself this over and over again, set up a time to chat with us. Let's get that consistent profitability flowing in your business. Let's get these numbers sorted out. I'm Jessica Krause with New Life Accounting, and we're here to help you build what lasts.